So in the last session, we have seen how to create the accounting calendar, and we verified the variety provided currencies data, which we are calling as seeded data. Along with this, we discussed about chart of accounts. Chart of accounts means when you create the transaction, what are the details you want to capture in each and every transaction as a description. Those details we can maintain in the instance with the concept called as chart of accounts. The chart of accounts we can create by using accounting key flex field. The accounting key flex field is available in the general ledger application. How do you create the chart of account structure? So we can create the segments. For each segment, we have to create the value sets. By using the value sets, you can maintain the data that we call as segment values. So these are the points we discussed in the last session. Any questions on the same, please? Okay, no questions. Now, if you are going to create the chart of account structure, okay, if you are going to create the chart of account structure, how many segments we have to create and max how many we can create. If you create the chart of account structure, okay, minimum we have to create 2 segments. We have to create minimum 2 segments. And by using the chart of account structure, max you can create 30 segments. 30 segments. What are those minimum 2 segments? Those are company and account. We'll come to know what are the other possibilities also very soon. So the minimum 2 segments ideally we create in the chart of accounts are company and account, which are key segments. Max you can create 30. But reality, when you do the implementations, do we create how many segments? Do we create 30 segments or how many segments we create? When you look at the real-time implementations, we'll see segments size like some implementation 6 segments, some implementation 7, 8, 9. More than 9 rarely we create. Oracle strongly recommending not to create many segments in the chart of account structure that will cause performance related issues. Reality, we no need to create many segments also. Why? We will discuss all those points. Now let's focus on how to create the chart of accounts. Once we are comfortable with the chart of accounts, maybe after a few sessions, after 3-4 sessions, we will see how to create the chart of accounts, the many segments. What are the best practices we have to follow when we design the chart of accounts as a part of real-time implementation? Those are all points we will discuss. For now, our target is understanding how to create the chart of accounts. We'll create our chart of accounts with these 3 segments. Now we are going to complete all these setups through manual process. There is another option called as we can load all this data into system automatically. That concept is rapid implementation. Okay, first we have to go through it. When we are comfortable with this manual process, then we can see how that can be executed in the system, the automatic process. When we deal with that automatic process, there we will discuss, okay, how to create the chart of accounts, the more number of segment, what are the reasons, all those points we will talk about. Now, to create the chart of accounts, what setups we have to perform, what sequence of setups we have to perform in the system, we'll see. Okay, to create the chart of account structure, first we have to create the value sets. Okay, we have to create the value sets first. So create value sets. The value sets we are going to create for each segment. Already we discussed the purpose of value sets are to maintain the segment related data. In the system directly, you cannot enter the data under segments. For that, we have to create the value set. Within the value set only, you can maintain the data. So that's how you can allow these segments to access the data with the help of value sets. First, we have to create the value sets. After creating the value sets, we have to create chart of account structure, or you can say chart of account structure name. Say create chart of accounts structure, or you can say structure name. Within the chart of account structure, we have to create the segments. Say create segments. To each segment, we have to assign respective value sets. For company segment, company value set, we have to assign department segment, assign department value set. For account, assign account value set. Say assign value sets to segments. We are creating value sets, we are creating segments. Value sets we are assigning to segments. And along with the value sets, we have to assign something else to the segments. The name is segment attributes. Let's say assign not attributes, labels we call segment. Okay, labels. Assign segment labels to segments. We'll discuss all this. Okay, we have to assign segment labels to segments. After that, okay, first we are creating the segments. To segments, we are assigning the value sets. For each segment, we have to assign the segment label. Assign segment label to segments. After this, we have to create chart of account structure instance. You have to create chart of accounts structure instance. What does it mean by instance? The copy of chart of account structure. With all these, we are creating the chart of account structure. The structure we have to copy, that only we call as instance. If you want to record the transactions, we need description. If you need description, the relevant data you can maintain in the system with the concept called a chart of accounts. If you create the chart of accounts with this data, you cannot use the chart of account structure directly in the system environment. That you have to make a copy as a chart of account structure instance. Chart of account structure instance is nothing but copy of chart of account structure. Here instance meaning is copy. We are talking about the environment what we are using, that is instance. That is nothing but copy of Oracle provided software. Here, the copy of chart of account structure we call as chart of account structure instance. After that, so where we are creating our chart of account structure? Within accounting key flex field. Okay, accounting key flex field. The actual name is accounting key flex field. This you can call as accounting flex field also. Both are same. The actual name is accounting key flex field. You can refer the same as accounting flex field. Both are same. So what are the chart of account structure we are creating in this accounting key flex field that we have to submit for validation? Okay, that means if you submit accounting key flex field for validation, within that accounting key flex field, what are the chart of account structure we are creating, that system will submit for validation. Okay, system will submit for validation. Say deploy accounting flex field. You can call it accounting flex field or accounting key flex field. Both are same. So deploy accounting flex fill means we are going to submit accounting key flex fill for validation purpose so that our chart of account, whatever we created inside of that accounting flex fill, system will verify. After that, we can create values in the value sets. Okay. The company value set, you can list out all the companies. The department value set, you can list out all the departments. The account value set, you can create all the accounts. Say, create, okay, segment values in value sets. When you create segment values in the value sets, we have to assign value attributes to segment values. Assign value attributes to segment values. So that means when you create these segment values, we have to set value attributes. What does it mean by value attributes? We will see and understand when we create those. But now just remember this terminology. Okay, here there is no target of understanding all this. No. Just try to remember the terminology what we are using. See, the entire course, what you feel as it's a little difficult, that is chart of accounts only. If you understand chart of accounts, rest all are very simple. Okay. So to create the chart of account, we have to complete these many tasks. So you no need to understand this in one go. First, we will discuss and we'll see in the system. Okay. When you see the system, you can understand. Still, it is not clear to you. Practice one time in the system. Okay, whatever we are going to discuss, the same by following that, you can practice in the system one time. So you will just find the chart of accounts definition as a easy. Okay, so just I am trying to introduce what are the steps we are going to follow to create the chart of account structure. Okay, first we have to create the value sets. Of value sets, we have to create the chart of account structure, or you can call a chart of account structure name. And within the chart of account structure only, we create the segments. To each segment, we have to assign the respective value sets. And we have to assign segment labels to segments. What does it mean by label and all we'll discuss. And we have to create chart of accounts structure instance, nothing but this all we copy that we call as instance. And we have to deploy accounting flex field. And within that value sets, we have to create the segment values. For each segment value, we have to assign the value attributes. Okay. So don't try to understand anything. We will see in the system. Then we'll get some clarity. Still, if it is confusing you, you can practice one time. Then it would be more clear for us. Okay. So please make a note of these points. To create the chart of accounts, 2 segments are mandatory. Those are company and account. The max you can create 30 segments, but reality, real-time implementation, ideally this is the number which we use as a segments. Now for our practice purpose, we are going to create the chart of accounts with these 3 segments. After some time, we'll create another chart of accounts with 7 or 8 segments. Okay, there we'll discuss what is our actual purpose. As of now, we are discussing the purpose as to capture the description. There are many other points which you have to understand, which are related to chart of accounts. Those all we'll discuss after few sessions. Okay. Now we'll go and create the chart of account related setups. Okay. This is sequence. Okay. I'm not just writing all this in the randomly. It's a complete sequence. The same sequence we have to follow when you do the setups in the system. First, we'll create the value sets. How many segments we are going to create? 3 segments. Okay, company, department, and account. Company segment, department segment, account segment. For each segment, we have to create one value set. For each segment, we have to create one value set. How to create the value set, we will go and see in the system. So go to our implementation project. Just click on setup and maintenance. Click on task list. Click on manage implementation projects. Click on overview. So this is the implementation project we created. Open this implementation project. Just click on the name. From here, we can complete the setups. Now, we are going to create the value set. The value sets we are going to assign to segments. Segments we are going to create in the chart of accounts. That means the value sets belongs to chart of accounts. When you search for the value sets, you have to search with the term called as chart of accounts value sets. The value sets we are going to use within the chart of accounts. That is the reason we call it as a chart of accounts value sets. Search for chart of accounts value sets. You don't need to type the full name. Okay, chart of accounts value sets. Just search. You can drag little right this column. Now you can see manage chart of accounts value sets. Okay, two tasks are available. Manage chart of accounts value sets. You can choose any one of the tasks. Both will take us to same page. Since we are working from financials, you can choose finance based path. Okay. Click on manage chart of accounts value sets. And here you can notice one thing. The setups are in the sequence. First, we have to create chart of accounts value sets. Next task is manage chart of accounts structures. That's what we discussed. After creating value sets, we have to create the structure. After structure, we have to create the instance. After structure, we have to create instance. Within the structure only, you can complete all this. As a part of chart of account structure task, you can create the segments and you can assign the value sets to segments, and we have to assign segment labels to segments. This is all we have to complete here only as a part of structure. After that, we have to create instance. You can see after structure, we have to create instance. After that, we have to perform the deployment. We have to submit our chart of accounts for validation. Chart of accounts we are creating in the accounting flex fill. The same accounting flex fill will submit for deployment. Deployment is nothing but validate or say compile. After that, we have to create the segment values. Okay, value set values, nothing but segment values we have to. During the segment values creation, we assign value attributes to segment values. So this is what we are going to see. And one more point here, you can notice which is setup is mandatory, which is optional, you can see. Okay, star mark. Star mark means the setup is mandatory. You have to complete it, otherwise you cannot get ready with your chart of accounts. So these are the setups we have to complete. We'll follow the same sequence and we'll create the setups. Manage chart of accounts value sets is the task. Click on go to task icon. Just click on go to task icon. So in this page, you can create the value sets. Okay, manage chart of accounts value sets. So if you want to find out existing chart of accounts, you can search and find from here. They are giving search section. But we never created any value sets. We are going to create the new value sets. And another important point is when we look at fresh instance also, you don't find any sample chart of sample value sets. Okay, Oracle never provides any sample value sets. Whatever we need, we have to create. Let's see how to create the value sets. To create the value sets, click on create icon. Click on create icon. And here you can provide the value set, code and name. So we are going to create 3 value sets, company, department, account. Simply you can give the name as company. Okay, company, but this is a practice instance. To keep uniqueness, always use company name. As of now, we are taking company as ERPTREE. After a few sessions, we'll change the company and accordingly we'll create the different chart of accounts. We'll proceed accordingly. But now you can give the name as ERPTREE company value set. We are creating value set in the value set creation page. That is the reason you don't need to give name as a again value set. The system can understand ERPTREE company means value set only because that we are creating in the value set page. So you don't need to give this as a value set. Give the name as ERPTREE company value set. ERPTREE company. That means ERPTREE company value set. The same you can take as a description. And this value set we are going to use in which application? Okay, the value set we are going to assign to segment. The segments we are going to create within the chart of accounts. Chart of accounts we are going to create by using accounting key flex field. Accounting key flex field is a part of general ledger application. That means the value set belongs to general ledger application. Now select module. Module is nothing but application as general ledger application. Select general ledger application and validation type. Okay, within this ERPTREE company value set, what kind of values we are going to create? Say we are going to create independent values. Independent values means companies. These companies are not going to have a dependency on some other segment values, independent values. And within this value set, what are the company names and codes you are going to provide like this? Here we discussed, these are the companies. For each company, you can give some code. Like you can give company 1, company 2, company 3. This is how you can give. Okay, numbering. This we call as codes. Okay, company codes 1, 2, 3. For each company, this we call as a description. Company name we call as a description. This we call as company codes. So whatever the codes and description you are going to enter, you want to enter in which data type. If you select number, it will allow you to enter numbers only. If you select date, it will allow you to enter date only, or else date and time. When you enter company related information, system should allow alphanumeric. If you enter code, it should allow code. If you want to write the name, it should allow name. So for that, you can select character. Select value data type as a character so that it will allow to enter alphanumeric text. Your value subtype, select as text. The value subtype, select as a text so that with alphanumeric information, you can create the company names. Here, there is one checkbox called as security enabled data security resource name. These are all related to one separate feature or function that we will deal when we are working on the relevant functionality. We'll see. For now, that is not required. Ignore it. That is a separate concept. When we deal with that concept, we will discuss about it. Now, when you create your companies, you want to give the company code in how many digits? Here we given 1 digit only. Okay, up to 9, 1 digit. So here you can specify maximum length. If I give maximum length as a 2, you can create the companies from 1 to up to 99. 2 digits maximum number is 99. If I give 3, I can create companies from 1 to 999. Okay, so the maximum length. Okay, with what length you want to create the company codes or maximum how many companies you want to create, accordingly you can provide. The reality, this we discuss with the client only. Okay, we discuss with the client. They may have 10 branches. We can give the number from 1 to 10, that is enough. Or else they may have only 4 or 5 branches or 4 or 5 companies. So based on that, what number they want to have in the system, what number they prefer to have in the system, we have to discuss with the client. Some clients, they go with a number as 2 digits, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 as a company codes. Some clients prefer to go with a 3 digit, or some clients prefer to go with the 4 digits. So that's how you can see the reality. Okay. So here for our testing purpose, we'll give 4 digits. That means what are the companies you are going to create, you want to create in the 4 digits. Less than 4 also you can create. But what is the maximum length, what you give ideally, that is the length we use as a company codes specification. Okay, that means it allows from 1 to 9,999 companies within this value set. So it allows from 1 to 9,999 companies. But you want to restrict minimum value and maximum value. I'll give 1,000 minimum, 9,000 as a maximum. If I give like that, it won't allow us to enter any company codes before 1,000, after 9,000. Any company code you have to enter in between 1,000 and 9,000. This is how you can specify minimum value and maximum value within this value set. Okay, so this is how you can set. If you don't give anything here, you can create the company code with 1 or 10 or 50 or 100, 1,000, anything, 4 digits, max 4 digits. Okay, this is what we have to understand. Right? Here, if I enable the checkbox called as uppercase only, so whenever we create the company description, it will take everything in the uppercase only. It won't allow us to write the names like this. Consulting, C capital remaining lower. It won't allow. So everything you have to write like uppercase, like how we written as ERPTREE. Okay, all the letters in uppercase. The same way, all company names you have to write in the uppercase if you enable the checkbox called as uppercase only. If you enable zero fill, maximum size is 4. If you are going to give the company code as 1, it will fill remaining positions with a 0. Maximum 4, right? Maximum length 4. I given 1 only. Remaining digits, it will fill with the zeros. If I enter company code as a 10, it will fill remaining with 0000. Means now it is equal to 4 digits. If I enter company code as 100, okay, 3 digits we entered, 1 digit is missing, so it will fill with the 0. So that's how automatically system can fill with the zeros if you are entering any company code less than 4 digits. For that purpose, you can use this zero fill. Ideally, these are not required. The minimum, maximum, uppercase, zero fill, you don't need to use. It's not ideally required. If required, you can enable and you can use for the client. Okay. So this is how we have to create the value set. First, we have to provide the value set code, the description. Description field is optional. You can see there is no star mark, and module. This value set we are going to use in which module? Module is nothing but application. Application you can call as module. Both are same. Module is the technical term. And validation type, independent. The companies are going to be independent. And value data type select as a character. It allows alphanumeric information as a company names. And value subtype select as a text. Maximum length. We want to create the company codes in 4 digits. And already we discussed about these fields and checkboxes. And this security enabled under data security resource name. This is related to separate functionality. So that is related to purely general ledger application. Once we start working on general ledger application, we will touch this concept. For now, you don't need to provide anything here. Ignore it. Say save and close. So we created one value set for company. The same way, we'll create value sets for department and account. Same process. Click on create. You can give the value set name. Say ERPTREE department. The same you can copy as take as a description. And module, nothing but application name, select general ledger. Validation type, select as independent. Other types we'll discuss, but now not required. Value data type is character. Subtype text. Length. When you create the departments, what is the code you want to take for department? Say I want to use 4 digits code for departments also. Say save and close. Create one more value set for account segment. Click on create. The value set name is ERPTREE account. Same I am just taking as a description. And this value set we are going to use in which application? General ledger application as a part of chart of accounts. Validation type, select as independent. Value data type is character. Subtype text. Okay. And when you create the accounts in the account value set, you can see the accounts mostly in thousands and lakhs also. So that is the reason you can give the maximum length as a 5. For company and department, we given 4 only. Here you can give as a 5 or 6 also. Okay. So 6 also. Reality we take 5 or 6, that depending on how many accounts they have. So that's how you can give the maximum length and say save and close. For 3 segments, we created 3 value sets. We'll check once. ERPTREE, click on search. So 3 value sets are ready. Okay, 3 value sets are ready. Now we should not create the values in this value sets. When we have to create the values in the value sets. After deployment only, we have to create the values in the value sets. That is the reason we taken after deployment only, we have to create the segment values in the value sets. Okay. Why? If you want to create the values in the value sets, you cannot assign value attributes. You cannot assign value attributes. Just go to any one of the value set. I am selecting company. Okay. Click on manage values. Now we are in the company value set. I want to create the values. Click on create. There is one field called as value and description. Here it is not displaying value attributes. When we create here, when you complete this setup, you'll come to know what does it mean by value attributes. Okay, here notice there are very limited columns, fields. Value attributes are not available. When value attributes should be available for this value set, these value sets you have to assign to segments. After that, that chart of account structure you have to deploy. Then only value attributes should be available when you create the values in the value sets. So don't create any values within the value sets after creating value sets. First, we have to deploy this accounting flex field. For that, you have to complete all these setups. For all these setups, if you try to create the values in the value sets, you will be able to create the values with more meaningful way. Otherwise, that is incomplete values creation we call. How exactly that we'll understand when you do this setup. So we are ready with the value sets. Now we'll go and create the chart of account structure. Where we can create the chart of account structure, already we discussed. The general ledger application, we have accounting key flex field that you can call as accounting flex field also. Within that, we can create the chart of account structure. We'll go and see that. Please make a note of each and every point, the navigations, the points what we are discussing, whatever I'm writing in the spreadsheet. You please prepare your own note. That will help you a lot for your preparation as well as practice time. Yeah. I'll share this sheet also. I'll be sharing this sheet. Okay. I'll create Google Drive. Okay. Google Drive. In the Google Drive, I'll create one folder. Within that folder, all the videos, the sheet what we are using for our classes. This sheet also I'll place in the Google Drive. You can access, you can download and you can keep with you. But what are the notes you are preparing, okay, based on session, that will help you a lot. This is the information. Yes, you can use this information. You can go through, but what are the note you are preparing, that will help you a lot for your practice purpose and your preparation purpose. Please don't ignore preparing your own note. Okay, now we'll go and see how to create the chart of account structure. We'll see how to create the chart of account structure. To create the chart of account structure, you just cancel this page, click on cancel, and go to manage chart of account structures task. Manage chart of account structures. Click on go to task icon. Here you can click on search. Okay, click on search. You can see application is general ledger application. Within the general ledger application, we have accounting flex bill, nothing but accounting key flex bill. Key flex bill name is accounting key flex bill. The display name they are giving as accounting flex bill, that is a key accounting key flex bill only. Okay, within the general ledger application, we have accounting flex field or accounting key flex field. Within the accounting flex field, you can create your chart of account structure. So how we navigated to this page? This is a task. Manage chart of account structures. You have to click on go to task icon and click on search. Our system is displaying this record. Once you see this record, you can click on manage structures to create the chart of account structure. Okay, click on manage structures. In the fresh instance, you don't find any sample structures. Oracle never provides any chart of account structures. So this is a practice instance. That is the reason you can see many. If you click on search, within this accounting key flex field, how many chart of account structures are created, you can see there are many. Okay, many. But in the fresh instance, you don't find single structure also. If you go to manage structures, even if you click on search, it would be blank, empty. Whatever the chart of account structure we create, that would be the first one. Okay, that would be the first one. So this is the point you have to notice. Let's see how to create the chart of account structure. Click on create. What name we can give? When you create the chart of account structure, you can give the name like this. Say ERPTREE chart of accounts structure. The chart of account structure we are going to create by using accounting key flex field. That is the reason you can give name like this, nothing wrong. But reality, what we do is we give the name including where we are creating the chart of account structure. Where we are creating in the accounting flex field. That is the reason generally we give the naming convention like a company name plus where we are creating the chart of account structure, that is accounting flex field. This is how we provide the naming convention for our chart of accounts. Company name plus accounting flex field. You can take the name as ERPTREE chart of account structure, nothing wrong. But this is a name ideally we use. Okay. So based on where we are creating, the same we will create in the system. You can give the name as structure code. You can give the structure code as ERPTREE accounting flex field. The same structure code you can take as a name. A structure code you can take as a name. The same name you may take as a description. You notice description field is optional. Okay. You want to provide description, provide, or else ignore it. Let's provide. To be given. Now, here, okay. Here you can see company codes. The same way you can have department codes. Department also you can give some numbering 1, 2, 3. It could be 1 digit or 2 digit or 3 digits. This is how you can provide the codes for company department accounts. 4 digit, 5 digit, The same way accounts also. Company. Department. Sorry. Second account number 2, 3, 4. This is how you can provide the numbering for all the accounts also. Now say if user is going to record the transaction for company called as consulting services, they can select 1. And if they are going to record the transaction for sales department, they can take 3. 3 means sales. If they are going to record select the account called as admin expense, they can select 2. 1, 3, 2. How we can understand by seeing that which is a company, which is a department, which is an account, you can separate those. I can separate 1.3.2. That means 1 means company segment related value, that is ERPTREE consulting services. 3 means that the next one is department segment. 3 means sales. Other 2 means account 2, that is admin expense. If you separate these codes, company code, department code, account code, those easily you can understand. If you don't separate, it will create confusion for us to understand the codes what we selected are belongs to which segments. That is the reason when user is going to create the transactions, for every segment related code need to be separated. Okay, this is how separate. How we separated now? With dot. If not dot, you can separate with a slash. Okay, with the slash also you can separate, you can easily understand. 1 means company related, 3 means department related, 2 means account related. What is 1, 3, 2? You can see that and you can understand which company, which department, which account. But the separation is very important. Now the same you have to set here. Here delimiter is nothing but segment separator. Within the chart of account structure, what are the segments you create? By using those segments, when user is going to create the transactions like this is how the codes need to be selected. How those company, department, account codes need to be separated, that you can set here as a delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but segment separator. So with which symbol you want to separate, that you can select here. Which symbol you have to use for separation, you can select. Let's use dot. Now click on save. Okay, now click on save. Here one point we have to understand. The chart of accounts related setup, one time one user only can complete. Okay, one time one user only can create. Now we are creating the chart of accounts. Same time, if any other user also creating the chart of account, system doesn't allow to save, or else already somebody is working on this page. And if you are trying to create the chart of accounts from your end, system doesn't allow. At a time, it will allow only one user. Please remember this point. When you are practicing, if you click on save, it will throw error message. The same time, if other user is working on this instance to create this chart of accounts. Okay, this is applicable only for chart of account. Rest of all the setups at a time, multiple users can perform. Only when you talk about chart of accounts, you have to remember this point. Okay, I have to make a note of this point. So let's click on save. Why we have to click on save? We want to create the segments. See, the segment creation icon is disabled, grayed out. So if you save it, this create icon will be enabled, so that within this chart of account structure, we can create the segments. Just click on save. It is allowed. That means in this instance, nobody is accessing the same page. Okay, nobody is accessing this same page. That is the reason. Okay, system is allowing us to save it. Otherwise, it will throw some error message saying that another user holding the lock. Okay, so another user is holding the lock. That's how it will display the message. If you come across that message, you have to understand the same time somebody is practicing, okay, on the same page to create their chart of accounts. That's what you have to understand. Wait for some time and try. That is only the solution. Now you can see the segments creation icon is enabled. Now we can create the segments. What segments you want to create? These 3 segments. So here we discussed one point. Assign segment labels to segments. What segment labels we have to assign, we will see. What purpose we'll discuss later. So we have segments like company, department, and account. Okay. So company. For company, which label we have to assign? Just please make a note of these points and remember, very soon we will understand what purpose we are assigning this. So a primary balancing segment label. For company segment, we have to assign primary balancing segment label. Why we have to assign, we don't know. We will understand very soon. For department segment, we have to assign one segment label called as cost center segment label. Okay. Department segment, we have to assign cost center segment label. Why we are assigning, we don't know. Account segment. Okay, account segment. For account segment, we have to assign one label. The label name is natural account segment label. Why we are assigning, we don't know. But just remember, I can explain now, but it would be difficult for you to understand. When you see the proof, if I explain this is a purpose, it would be easy for you to understand. For now, don't try to understand why we are assigning. What label you are assigning to which segment, remember as of now. Okay, very soon we will understand what is the purpose we are assigning. Okay, so this is all we call as segment labels. Okay. So these 3 segment labels we are assigning to these 3 segments. Primary balancing segment label we are assigning to company. Cost center segment label we are assigning to department. Natural account segment label we are assigning to account. Which label for which segment, remember that is enough as of now. Fine. So now we'll create the segments within our chart of account structure. We given our chart of account structure name as ERPTREE accounting flex field. Within this chart of account structure, we are going to create these 3 segments. Let's see how to create these 3 segments within our chart of account structure. Click on create and give the segment code. Okay, segments we plan company, department, account. So ideally, if you take segments like company, department, account, we follow the same sequence. Top would be company. Within the company, you can have a department. The department will do specific activity, that is account. Follow the same sequence. Don't take account as a first segment or department as a first segment, account as company as a third segment or second segment. No. Follow the same sequence. Okay, same sequence. Within the company, you can have a departments. Within the department, there will be activities, nothing but accounts. Okay. Follow the same sequence for segments when you create. So first we are going to create company segment. Segment code you can give as a segment name. Company. Don't write the name as ERPTREE company or so and so company. No. Company means company, that is segment name. And use tab. Okay, from the keyboard use tab. This name will be copied as an API name. API stands for Application Programming Interface. This field can be used by technical consultants for technical developments. That could be third-party integrations or custom reports preparation. There for reference mapping purpose, they use this field. So whatever the name you are giving here as a segment code, that system is copying, it is taking everything in the lowercase. See here, your C capital letter we given, it is taking lowercase. You place the cursor in this field, you see that pop up also. Okay, the message says this can be used in the web services. Web services related to technical, for integrations purpose, you can use it. Reports, when you create the new reports, custom reports, you can use this field. And the other integration points, any other integrations, like point of view also, you can use the same. This is purely for a technical purpose. You don't touch it, don't change the name. Whatever the name you are entering as a segment code, it will copy. Never change the value which is inside of it. Don't touch it. The same segment code you can take as a segment name. And the same you can take as a description. And sequence number. Within our chart of accounts, this segment is going to be first segment or second or third. It's going to be first segment. Give sequence number as a 1. And we are creating segment called as company. How you want system to display for business users when they record the transactions. Company segment, how you want to allow them to see. That is nothing but prompt. Display prompt. Okay, display name. So company segment, you want to allow the users to see as a company only. Okay, prompt means display name. For business users, when they create the transactions by using the chart of accounts, company name should be displayed how? As a company only. Short prompt. What should be the short name for this segment? That you can give as short name. Or else you can take company only, short prompt also, because very short name company. The same you can take, or else still you can take some short name. And display width. For this segment, system has to open the field. The field size we need in how many character space? I'm giving 30. When you create the transactions, you can see where this 30 width will be displayed. Take example, sequence number. How many fields, how many letters width you can guess this field? How many letters width? What is the width of this field?
Around 6.
Yeah, 6 or 7. In the same way, for our company segment, we need field with how many characters width that we are giving. If you give 30, it will just open the field size max up to this much. I think this is around 30 characters space. Okay, field. This much field it will open for our company segment. That's how you can give 30. Don't use this range type. Ideally, it is not required. Okay, low and high, like one segment you can create as low, one segment you can create as a high. That is for to specify the time range and other ranges you can use it. Ideally, it is not required. So you select here column name. Column name. So we discussed max 30 segments you can create, right? Here you can see those 30. Here you can click on search. Type segment. Click on search. See here 30 segments. Segment 30 max. These are the attributes. That's different. Okay, segments you can see 1 to 30. In the chart of accounts, max you can create 30 segments. Now we are creating first segment. Select segment 1. Say okay. Okay. So within the chart of accounts, we have to create segments. To segments, what we have to assign? Value sets. For company segment, we have to assign company value set. This is a company segment. To this segment, we have to assign company value set. Here we have field code as default value set code. We created one value set for company that you can select here. That only we call as we are assigning company value set to company segment. Just click on this drop down. Click on search. What is the value set name for company? ERPTREE.
Yeah.
Company. Yeah. Search. Select. Say okay. So that means we assign this value set to company segment. Now other point is we have to assign segment label to segment. Okay. We have to assign segment labels to segments. For company segment, which label we have to assign? Primary balance and segment label. We'll go and assign. Why we are assigning, we will discuss, we should discuss. That's a mandatory. We'll discuss after some time. When you can understand, I'll explain that. So here we have a segment labels, list of segment labels. For company segment, we have to assign primary balance and segment label. Here is the primary balance and segment label. You just double click on it, it will get selected. If you want to remove double click, it will be removed. Okay, so primary balance and segment label, just double click, it will be assigned to this segment. That means if it is selected here, selected labels, it is assigned to this segment. Okay, it is assigned to this segment. So this is how we have to create the segment. We are giving the name, automatically system is taking the same as the API name. API stands for Application Programming Interface. That field can be used for technical purposes, and same code you can take as a name, and optional you can take the description. Sequence number, it is going to be first segment in our chart of accounts. So give number 1 and prompt. How the segment should be displayed for business users when they record the transactions with this chart of accounts. Should be displayed as a company. You can provide the short name. The company segment field display width, how much we require, 30 characters. So max you can create 30 segments. Now we are creating the first segment, segment 1. For company segment, we have to assign the company value set that we are assigning. For company segment, we have to assign primary balance and segment label. That's what we assign to the segment. Now you can say save and close. See, somebody is working on the chart of accounts. This is how you get message. You cannot log this record because it is already logged by another user. Okay, who are attending this class, they are working on the same instance. Please, you can just you can move out from this page. Okay, otherwise we cannot save it. You see this, another user holds the log. This is how you get message. Please, okay, you can just exit from this page so that we can proceed. Let me try once again. Save, same issue. We'll wait for some time. Somebody is working on the same chart of accounts creation page. That is the reason it is just holding the log. Save it. Okay, we'll wait for some time. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, in the page of creating value set, we can select module. But as you said initially, only in GL module, we will get the flex field, accounting flex field. So why the system is allowing to select any other module? Later on, we'll not get now.
This flex field concept we have in the different applications. Okay. The flex field concept we have in the different applications. To use this in which application you are creating. The reason, so how it would be useful to say tomorrow you want to find out all the value sets which you created for general ledger application. If you give the name as a general ledger application, easily you can list out. If you don't give the value set you are creating for which application purpose, tomorrow if you want to find out the value sets what you created for GL and a few other applications, how you can filter? Okay, even without giving the application name, if you create, you can use wherever you want to use, you can use it. But you are addressing the purpose where you want to create, where you want to use it. Yeah. For
okay.
the information purpose, we are giving the application name or same as a general ledger.
So in any other application also the counting flex field will be there?
No, accounting flex will not. Say here. What is the name? Accounting key flex field, right? This is accounting key flex field. In the same way, there are few other key flex field. One of the key flex field is accounting key flex field. The same way, say if you take fixed assets, we have category key flex field, location key flex field, asset key flex field. The different application, different key flex fields we have.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is one of the key flex field. Key flex field name is accounting key flex field. Accounting key flex field for what purpose? Chart of accounts creation purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try now.
Lakshman sir,
Same. Yeah, please.
for example, the multiple labels are available for us, right? So one label can be assigned to multiple segment codes.
No, no. One label you have to assign to only one segment. So primary balance and segment label assigned to company. System will allow you to assign the same to other segments also. But when you submit the deployment, system will validate, system will verify. Okay. System will verify one label is used to assign to only one segment within the chart of accounts or more than one. If it is more than one, it won't complete the deployment process. It will stop and it will give the error message saying that in so and so chart of accounts, so and so label is assigned to more than one segment. You can use or assign to only one. Then you have to go and correct it. Again, you have to submit for deployment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Another point is when you submit your chart of accounts for deployment, system will look at the rule called as minimum 2 segments are required. Those minimum 2 segments, these 2 labels are assigned or not, it will verify. Okay. The primary balance and segment label is assigned to company or not. In the same way, natural account segment label is assigned to account segment or not. These 2 points also it will verify. In any chart of accounts, the primary balance and segment label and natural account segment labels are not assigned to these respective segments, company and account. The deployment process will identify that issue. It will provide the message in so and so chart of accounts, the natural account segment label is missing. In so and so chart of accounts, primary balance and segment label is missing. Minimum you have to assign primary balance and segment label and natural account segment labels to respective segments. Otherwise, you cannot complete that chart of accounts creation. Means the deployment process cannot be completed for your chart of account structure, and you cannot use the chart of account structure to record the transactions also. Okay, the deployment process will verify all these points. Primary balance and segment label is assigned and natural account segment label is assigned or not. These 2 points. Cost center segment label, it's optional, not mandatory. The primary balance and segment label and natural account segment labels are mandatory in every chart of accounts. 99% primary balance and segment label we assign to company. 100% natural account segment label we assign to account only. Why we are talking about 99% to company? If not company, what is that 1%? We will discuss. Okay, when we talk about the best practices for chart of accounts and all, there I'll just include that point. But as of now, take company and accounts are mandatory segments. For company, always we have to assign primary balance and segment label. Account segment, we have to assign the natural account segment label. When you do the deployment, when you submit the deployment is nothing but validate, or you can say compile. Okay, it will compile, it will verify entire chart of accounts. It will see 2 segments are there or not. To those 2 segments, these 2 labels are assigned or not. That's what system can validate.
Okay. So is there any limit for segment code?
Segment
Code.
You are talking about this field.
Yes, yes. I mean to say 2 mandatory codes are required, company and account. So like that, is there any limitation, a limit, company, cost center and product and service or something else like that?
No, see, the point what we are discussing is 2 segments are mandatory in every chart of accounts. Those are company and account by default. For company, we have to assign this label. For natural account, we have to assign this label. Even if you create these 2 segments, if these 2 labels are not assigned, the deployment process will identify that mistake. Okay, it says you have 2 segments, but 2 segments, these 2 labels are mandatory. There is some reason behind it that we will discuss. Okay, it will just give the message this should be assigned. 2 segments you have, but okay, labels are mandatory for those 2. That's how it will throw error message. This is the point we are discussing. What is your question?
Just my question is how many segments can we create?
Here is the number, right?
Maximum 30. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, max we can create 30. Reality, how many we create in the implementations like this? Some
Yeah,
implementation 6, some implementation 7, 8, 9. Those points we'll discuss. On what base we create all these, what information we should take as a segments, what information you should not take as a segments when you design the chart of accounts for real implementation. We will discuss all those. Just click on save. Let's hope. No, still somebody is working.
Lakshman sir, can you provide some, the data or the kind of question, create like this scenario based something so that we can do some practice?
No. See, what we are doing here, you practice that. And
Okay.
scenarios, we have to get it to the application. Say, once you start on the payables, there are n number of scenarios. We will test all the scenarios. I'll take you through how to execute those scenarios. The same you can do from your end. That is kind of scenarios. Setup scenarios won't be there. Setup means setup. What we have to complete, that we have to complete. Yeah. Once we start working on the transaction part, we'll see scenarios in payables, receivables, general ledger, fixed assets, and all these applications. Different business scenarios we come across. Accordingly, we have to see how those can be executed in the system as a transaction flow.
Okay, but as of now, we can just assume, suppose we want to make some chart of accounts of 6 segments, then we can do that. 6 value sets.
Yes, that also I'm going to show. That's what I said. Now we are going to create with the 3 segments as a just so after that, we'll create chart of accounts with the 7 or 8 segments. There I will add many points which we have to understand related to chart of accounts. If I dump everything in one go, I don't know how it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Try to understand how to create the chart of accounts with the key points by understanding. So after that, there is a separate concept called as rapid implementation. In that concept, again, I'll include, we'll talk about this and a few additional points. There you can see the scenarios, chart of account related scenarios. Okay, 6, 7, 8, when, how. Okay. That's how it works. Still somebody's on this. I'll cancel. We'll create once again. Anyway, somebody is working on this. Company. Same you can take as a name, description, sequence 1, prompt, short prompt, display with 30, and segment 1. Assign our value set to company value set to company segment. Company. So for company segment, what label you have to assign? Primary balancing. Save it. We'll wait for a few minutes.
Sir, we created one user. Okay, when I was doing the practice, I created one user, but we are already logging through ERPTREE, right? That is instant username. Then when we're doing we created the user in FSM, then next step was to enable offerings on options. For that, we are clicking on this ERPTREE and going to setup and maintenance and actions and going to offerings.
No. Oh, you are see. Okay, you are talking about clicking on user. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, here we are going setup and maintenance and going to actions and clicking on go to offering. So that offerings we are giving to instance user, not to the user we have created.
What is instance user?
This ERPTREE, we are logging through this ERPTREE, no?
No.
I am not. So when I logged in, no FA user, I'm able to see that only FA user. I'm not able to see my name, which I created.
What is your username?
I created Sur test.
Have you
SURTE.
assigned the roles?
I have assigned roles also.
Which
Yes.
roles you assign?
Both, sir. One is that IT and another one is application implementation.
Okay. To create, you should be able to see that. Security console. Users. Tell me your username.
SURTEST. Test. Yes, sir. This one.
Application implementation consult, IT security manager. Okay, cool. What is your question now? This.
So when we want to enable the offerings, the steps was given just to click on this right hand side ERP tree. So instead of that, how I can just enable my offerings on this one?
It's not like someone's offerings. That is instance level.
Instance level only.
You
That's
cannot
okay.
enable. Already enabled.
Okay. So that is for all everyone, like whoever.
Everyone. See, we are enabling the offerings instance level, not user level.
Okay.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. After the project setup, we are selecting the offerings and option.
Into
And
our
then,
project.
yeah,
Yes.
into our project.
That is specific to your project, your user.
Okay, that was my doubt, sir. Yes.
But that can be accessed by other users also. That's what we have to understand.
Okay.
You are
So,
creating the project, okay,
mhm.
and other users also can access that project. If other users got access to application implementation consultant role, who got access to application implementation consultant role, they can have access to FSM. You are
Okay.
creating the project within the FSM only. Okay, any user can have access to any project. You see here, as implementation projects. See how many projects we have here. You can access any project.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Clear,
is
sir.
notice, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see. No.
One question, Lakshman. What is
Please.
the relevance of cost of chart of account instance? Because this is the very confusing, because we are not creating any copy for any other functionalities. Why we are creating a copy for this particular structure?
I'll explain you. Here, the point is, we discussed what is the meaning of fusion. We discussed, right?
Right.
The fusion means not only Oracle products, right? Oracle acquired many different products. Okay. So we are going to work on all those applications. The chart of account structure, what we are creating. So against that, they are creating the copy of instance, and they are keeping that instance to be available across the different applications, Hyperion products for budgeting purpose and reporting purpose in the different applications. So the core one, what we are creating structure, instead of facilitating the access to that structure, the copy they are creating, if you create, there is a flexibility you get when you at instance level. So that flexibility is required in the different other applications in the reporting, budgeting, etc. As per requirement to modify what they want to have as instance level, which is not coming from the chart of account structure. For those conveniences purpose, they are giving instance. But if you see within the financials directly, ideally we don't require chart of account structure instance. Structure is enough for us. But what Oracle did is, if you want to use the structure, you have to create instance. Without creating structure, you cannot use it. Why Oracle is creating structure? With many technical reasons. Okay.
Okay. Any connection with the secondary ledger? Because this question used to ask in an interview, what is the difference between chart of account structure and instance? And if we are, explaining that,
I'll show you. Just
yeah.
once we create a simple point is, instance is nothing but copy of chart of account structure. Still, if you want to make the difference, you see over there. Okay, when we create, I'll just explain you what you can do at instance level, what you cannot do at structure level.
Okay.
Yep.
No linkage with secondary ledger. or
Sorry?
consolidation. No linkage with the secondary ledger or consolidation.
That is concept itself different.
Okay.
The concept completely different. Nowhere it is related to this instance and all. Yeah. This separate concept that is for reporting purpose. That's totally different. We'll work on it. We are going to work on reporting ledger, secondary ledger, consolidation ledger, different ledgers. As a part of general ledger application, we will work on all those, but it is not related to that. So still, we'll check. Still same issue. Somebody is working on this instance for the chart of accounts. I think seriously they are creating their chart of accounts. So no issues, we'll wait. Meantime, any questions, please? No questions. Still somebody is on the same page. No issues. This we'll see in the tomorrow session. It's already 9:30. So in the tomorrow session, we'll proceed with the segment creation. Today, just we created up to chart of account structure. Just we given structure name and we didn't create any segments within this. Okay, in tomorrow session, we'll see how to create the segments. All will complete. Okay. Get ready with our chart of accounts and we'll proceed with other setups also. So that's all for today. If any questions, you can stay back. We will discuss. If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Any questions, please?
Sir, while assigning the roles, I see one more additional thing was coming, add auto provisional rules.
I'll explain.
So,
That. If you want to understand that, we have to complete many setups.
okay, sir.
Many setups you have to complete, then only you will be able to test how it works. Yeah. Any other questions?
So Lakshman sir,
Please.
as we create the value set and at that time we assign the application to it. So if
Yeah.
I create the company value set in GL ledger application, so can I use it in receivable or payable application, or I need to create separately in that application?
So that application only you have to choose. You have to choose the value set you are going to use in which application. Accordingly, you can use it.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. If no questions, we can wind up for today. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll try to complete all these setups.
Lakshman sir,
Yeah.
Lakshman, this is a question not related to this chart of account. It is related to instance. Actually, yesterday I tried to connect with .61, so I got the message of the user authentication failed every time.
No, this is the other instance. That is the reason I shared two instances. Say sometimes one down or maintenance. Okay, that is the reason I shared other instance also. The other one is working fine. The first one.
52 was working.
Yes. Now I am using the same class also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And yesterday I created the chart of account and I got the same error of when I am creating this segments.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So I after some time, after 1 hour, it is I am able to create the chart, this segments, etc.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but in the meantime, I also I think it is a basically locking. So I think we need to log out from our sessions also. It's my experience, maybe. So,
yeah, see, some other users are working. That is the reason you could not create, and even now we are not able to create.
yes.
Right? That is the issue. Only for chart of accounts, we have to bear with this. There is no other option for us because these are the instances, right? If it is a client instance, nobody will touch. You will be the one who will be working on it.
Yeah. Yes.
Practice instances, rest of all setups you can do like without any challenge. Only this chart of account related setup, this is a bit of challenge for us when we are learning.
Yeah. Okay.
Also learning by using the same instance, by creating chart of accounts in the same. So we have to wait for our turn. That's all. If somebody is already working on it, we have to wait till they exit.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Any other questions? No questions. No questions. That's all for today. We'll correct tomorrow same time. Thank you all.